Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's kind of crazy thinking about that I've played War Thunder for over a decade, and I know quite a few people who have too. And one of the things that I never thought that War Thunder would get is first of all, massive battleships, and also at the same time, a bunch of SAM systems. Even the multi-vehicle ones just seemed so ridiculous, even just a few months ago when it came to War Thunder. And that's kind of the point of the video. It is interesting to see how much Gaijin evolves stuff. It's interesting to see how many times things change across the board and how basically everything over time will be modified or will be improved or moved around at least. And it just makes me wonder, what the hell is the next step? Right now, we have pretty much the most modern MBTs in game. Yeah, they could add some other variants of them, I suppose, but it's really not going to make too much of a difference. We have nearly the most modern SAM systems nowadays, and also a lot of the very modern light vehicles. And I understand that there's a lot of prototypes. I understand that there's a lot of general MBTs that they could add. You know, obviously the Armata, the Leopard 2A8, the K51, the M1A2 SEP V3, I think it is. And the question that I have when looking at those is, will they play that much different compared to their predecessors? And also, what's really going to change? Maybe the APSs. Maybe that's something that will bring a new light onto the game. What about Naval? What are they going to do after the big battleships? Are they going to add even more crazy things? Are we going to go into the missile era? Will they expand the battleships? Will they expand the coastal fleet? What will they do with Naval? And then Aviation. Like, even Aviation is getting to a point where there really isn't a massive amount of stuff to add, only really from the modern era. So are they going to try and adapt the game? Are they going to try and expand the game modes? Are they going to try and do something different? Or are they just going to keep adding more and more content? It's already got to the point when it comes to War Thunder that it's pretty much impossible to research everything. As a person who's been playing for many years and also playing the game a lot more than the average, I'm nowhere near grinding out everything. I usually get to a point where I get a decent amount of kind of research done of most of the tech trees, and then it just kind of falls apart at the end of the day because they add another update, and we still have 3 more major updates this year where I'm sure they're going to add more and more stuff, probably things like anti-radiation missiles and stuff like that, and that's going to be kind of the expansion point of the general game. So when I'm sat here today, and when I'm thinking about, we're halfway through 2025, the game of War Thunder has been around for such a long time. How is it going to keep invigorating itself? How is it going to keep rejuvenating, evolving itself? And to be honest, I can't really see how. A lot of the basic gameplay is still the same from a very long time ago. Like, it's pretty crazy how none of that has really changed. And then also at the same time, you have a massive expansion of mechanics, and I feel like that's probably the way that they're going to go. So as we talked about, the anti-radiation missiles, and then also stuff like the other missiles, the anti-ship missiles, and maybe even the extended range missiles for planes. And then for ground vehicles, it's probably going to be APSs. You know, that's probably something that we're going to see. And then also at the same time, maybe for naval, maybe we see some more expansive systems, as we said, some missiles, or maybe some countermeasure systems, you know, ECMs and chaff and stuff like that to try and keep them alive from missiles coming in. Who knows? Like, anything is kind of possible. But I just want to use this kind of opportunity to remember what even War Thunder was like 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and just to show you how much this game rapidly expands every year. It's insane. It's like a runaway train where they just keep adding more and more stuff over and over again. And from a research point of view, that's a problem, because we're getting to a point now where people just can't get through tech trees. And that just sucks. You know, it is really rough that that's the case. And I can't stand it. It's the biggest issue when it comes to War Thunder. You have all of these fancy things, you have all of this fancy stuff, and the vast majority of people will never see it. And that makes me incredibly sad, and I hope they do something about it. But when it comes to the other part of it, when it comes to the looking at how much this game has evolved from a vehicle point of view and also from a graphical point of view, it just kind of makes me wonder, how far is it going to go? How far is it until basically War Thunder is complete? It's technically been released. It's technically one of those games that is, of course, a live service game that could go on forever. As long as it makes money and as long as, everybody is happy with it, it will continue. And that's obviously very important. But the real question is, from a player point of view, how can they keep reinventing the wheel? How can they keep people interested and moving forward? Now, I think there's a huge opportunity in terms of not really the gameplay, but the customization part. Whenever you kind of like complete the gameplay of stuff, what ends up happening is it's much better to actually focus on other areas of the game to keep people interested, such as customization. So avatars is something we've talked about before, hangar decorations, more customizations to be able to kind of show off, more profile stuff, which is something that we've seen happen over the period of time, more ways of being able to put in your income in other areas to get yourself some drip, basically. That's how a lot of these games go. You get the core sorted and then you expand on the customization. It's exactly what Enlisted did. It's exactly what many other games have done as well. So hopefully, War Thunder does that, and hopefully people keep interested in it, because of the fact that that is going to be something to focus on, which isn't the standard grind. And I've always thought that is the way to kind of focus on these things. From a personal point of view, I would like to see more nations. I would like to see more people represented, because one of the coolest things for me in War Thunder is learning about people's different cultures and also the history behind all of their military setup. For me, I find that really fascinating. Like, one of the cool things about Israel being added is I learned about the formation of Israel. I learned about all of the different wars that they've been in, because it's a nation that, to be honest, I was never taught when it came to school, and I also never really cared too much about. The Middle East as a kind of block area is not somewhere where I've focused a lot of my thoughts or a lot of my readings. So learning about that stuff and then expanding it to other areas like Egypt and obviously places like Jordan and even, other areas around there, it's been really nice to actually do. And when they add stuff like Turkey, when they add stuff like South Korea or North Korea or many others, my guess is I will do the same. So hopefully we get more nations, hopefully we get more representation, we can get some cool content around it, and also just have a bit of fun. But the question is, what do you want to see? What is the thing that you want to see most? I'd like to hear it. Look after yourselves. Peace be with you. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.